Hello and welcome, folks, to another edition of RSF Radio. I am your host, Joe Monday, and this is the show where we talk about what's been going on the front page of our Street Fighter, or just generally what's happened in the FGC. But tonight, very special, unheard of, unprecedented in the booth right now. I have two very special guests. Not one, not... Well, I guess it is two. Two very special guests. You might know them from Wednesday Night Fights, or you might be excited about the charity event they are running right now. I've got Rose and LPN in the booth, in the studio. What's happening?
What's going on?
Hello, hello.
All right, so I have to kick it off. When we kick off shows with guests, I always have to say, pitch what you have going on right now. Let's get it all out up front, because you guys are doing something pretty fucking rad, if you ask me. Tell me about Combat for a Cause.
All right, Rose, go ahead.
So Combat for a Cause, I think the most simplest way I can explain it is that it is a fighting game charity series in which we, through multiple gaming tournaments, help raise money towards a cause. And for this one, which is our second installment, we're going to be doing it for mental health awareness, as well as creating a donation drive for American Foundation of Suicide Prevention.
That's awesome. But this isn't really your first time doing a charity event like this, or even running tournaments, for example. You've got some good shit under your belt, because you did this. How long ago was it that you ran the last one of these?
So the last one the first one I guess I did was in October for breast cancer research. And I'm very proud to say that because at the time it really wasn't what it is now, that we basically only had the NorCal community involved, and we were able to donate about $2,400 for breast cancer. So that was pretty good. I definitely would say that for the first event.
Pretty good.
And no, that really is. I mean, the FGC and charities, it's always, at least I have found it to be this way, and I'm not trying to like downplay the FGC or their attempts at running charities. I encourage it, but it seems like every other one, it's like I'm never sure if it's going to take off or not, or like sometimes like, not a lot of people show up, but apparently you've got the wheels are greased right now. You've got something going on, obviously, but because it's not just tournament stuff that you do to raise money or direct donations. You've got some other shit happening. Tell me about the event, like in that respect.
So yeah, I think it's interesting because I guess if you want to talk about our most current event right now, we have so one, of course, like you mentioned, the fighting game tournaments. The second thing is we have local vendors and artists who come in, and a certain percentage of of whatever you purchase that day, or from their shop, or from our Matcherino page, actually, will go to our donation drive. And then we also have, I'm trying to think, raffles as well happening during the event, and we're very fortunate to have prize sponsors from the fighting game community. So many different brands and teams actually did contribute to this. So it's not, I definitely don't feel like it's a one-man show. It's got a whole team behind it. Yeah,
no, that's sick. It is. I caught the wind of this late. It wasn't until like this week where I even saw a little bit of it. But when I caught wind of it, it's like we got Matcherino involved. We got all these other people involved. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, we're in it. It's time to go. Which, by the way, I feel like I have to do this every time they come up, because they're one of these Matcherino is one of these companies that has gone to bat for the FGC a number of times, and I don't know, I feel like they give a lot of fucks about what we do as a community.
Yeah, you are so on point on that. Like, it's really funny because so one of my volunteers on Wednesday Night Fights has been actually recommending. He's been saying, you know what, Rose, you gotta look at Matcherino. They're really great. And at first I kind of was like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll think about it. And at the time, I think what really got me to notice was when they did the like Mono and Maureen, they were able to send them out to, I think, Canada Cup.
Hey, that was
I think
me.
that's what it was.
No,
Was that you?
Yeah.
That was Street Fighter.
Oh wait, that's our Street Fighter. Never mind. I'm thinking of some.
I did
Oh no,
that.
Maturino. I'm thinking of something else. But you know
Hey,
what?
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, that was. So forgive me on that, but there was something else that brought up Maturino at that
sounds
time.
familiar.
Yeah. Say, look at that. You inspired me. You like that twist?
Hey man, no, like I get that. Because I was an early adopter of it, and they continually were reaching out to me and being like, "Hey, how can we better fit your community?" And I'm like, "Well,
See?
here's how you do it, and please help all these other people because we got a whole lot of other communities out there that could really use this." Because I get it. When you first approach Maturino, it seems like, I don't know. To me, it was like a little weird to approach at first, right? Because it's like there's the store, like where does the money go in? Where does that come out from? But they've been really easy to work with, in my opinion, and
Yes.
and like are continually doing like very special drives for people. Of like they basically have like a war chest of, well, here is like we're gonna donate up to $100. Just use this offer code. It's great, and I think that they have one for your event as well. Am I right in thinking that?
Yes, if I can shamelessly plug it.
There's
You
no
know,
shameless plugs on this show. We've set aside this block of time specifically for shameless plugs. Be a shillionaire, shill all you want.
Well, if you go to the Maturino page for Combat for a Cause, you just use CFACMH, which actually stands for Combat for a Cause Mental Health, on the contribution page, and you can actually donate $1. And if you want to do more, you would just complete quests. That actually another very small NorCal brand. It's actually they're trying. They do more games for like. They do more tournament stuff for like King of Fighters and things like that. And so they actually is funding another promotional campaign on our Twitter for quests. So if you like retweet this or follow a certain person like American Foundation of Suicide Prevention through our page, then they donate a certain amount of cents. And I think someone can easily donate up to at least $2.50 easily without anything in their pocket. And if you get a few people to do that, that contributes a lot more.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And I've run into this problem, and I don't know if you've run into this problem as well, but I don't know how to like save that without it sounding like a pyramid scheme of like, all you have to do is, because there's no good word for it. Because if I say, oh, just go enter these letters in and you donate $1, people are like, but I don't want to donate $1. It's like, well, no, you're not. It's not you. It's not your dollar. It's like,
Yeah.
at least I've found trouble of like phrasing that to be like, hey, anyone can do this. You can just go. It could be you, the listener. You can go and do this, and it's just free money. It's like a credit card, free money. You don't ever have to pay it back.
Free money.
That's how credit cards work, guys, right?
I mean, I think actually, I've always wondered, like, as a player, whenever I say something like this to other people, because most of the time the people donating in this is going to be some kind of player, right? Or maybe some kind of spectator within the FGC. I've always wondered what would be the best way to approach it. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that, Hun? Along?
Oh, you weren't calling me Hun.
There's two of us here. Let's see.
I'm not used to that. This is new grounds for me. So, LPN, go ahead.
Coming from a player perspective, obviously it's about what the context is. I mean, just having simple instructions is a good first step. Nothing more than 3 steps, I would say, is the golden rule.
Yeah.
Just log in, put this code, you're done. That's it. If it's that simple, sure, why not? Like you go to the bathroom, take a 5-minute break, why not do it? But besides that, I mean, the word free is always a hot word. People are cautious about that too, but there is also another opportunity, right? As long as it benefits them in some way, I think anybody and everybody will be part of it. And like I mentioned before, context is very important. This is for a great cause. If it's not for a great cause, there's a probably least likely chance for anybody to really, kind of take their time out of the day to do it. This is so simple. Like literally, you just put in those letters and that's it.
Yeah, it's so easy to do, and I think you're right about that. The instructions can't be more than 3, because I mean, you guys have run tournaments before. People don't fucking read the rules at all, so it's not like anybody is reading any of the other words that are written there. So what if I can interject there? What I find useful is, and I should actually do more of this. Just short little video clips of here's exactly how you do it, and just talk through it and say, hey, do this thing. It's this easy. Boom, boom, boom. Like 5 seconds long would all it need to be. And then, maybe that'll talk someone to quote unquote donate. Because, again, they're not donating. It's just free money. Losing the language on that one. But that's just because I'm a dummy. But no, it's a cool event. I'm for it. I like the cause a lot. It's one of those things where I feel like mental health is getting better to talk about openly in 2019 as something that is like... I don't want to go as far as say like people are being like, oh, it's cool to admit you have mental health illness. It's like, but no, not that actually. It's more so of like admitting that this is like, or can be a disease or anything like that. It's no different than that. And like breaking down those stigmas attached to having mental health problems, which then can lead to proper treatment of mental health. So, the whole thing is, I'm totally for it.
Can I like plug in some facts here? Just because one thing that a lot of people have been actually asking about is kind of like, why mental health, right? Because when I founded Combat for a Cause, I've been really trying to really find specifically causes that, not that I'm only passionate about, but I think things that are very sometimes underrepresented in a way. And so kind of like what you said, I do agree that in 2019, or at least now these days, mental health is becoming a lot more talked about. And I kind of was doing some research ahead before this event. And like I was reading on Mental Health America about like how 1 in 5 people will have like a diagnosable health condition, while like 50% of Americans actually do have something. Like if they actually knew that there's... It sounds silly to say, but most people don't realize that mental health actually exists. Like even, you can even say like some people don't even get coverage for it, right? And so if you're just thinking, oh, I'm just having a bad day. Actually, we're, man, fuck. Little moment of like honesty here. Like it is not treated the same as, like, even though it can have like detrimental health effects on you as a person, it is not covered a lot of the ways the same as other diseases or things that are actual illnesses. For example, if I can be honest about like my wife, her grandma suffers from Alzheimer's and dementia, and that stuff is not covered at all. Like she doesn't get any assistance for any of that. Which is, I don't know, like learning about all this stuff for treatment for someone who is at kind of a late stage in life is like, how the fuck are we treating people like this? But anyway, I digress. Go on. No, I mean, that's a good example because I think I was trying to say earlier that like 50% of Americans, if they only knew that this does exist, right, they could maybe get some actual appropriate treatment for whatever they're going through, because someone can just say, oh, it's just a bad day, maybe one day, and then slowly when the stress of life or anything like that, or your mental health, once it kind of worsens, you know, this is also why I felt that American Foundation of Suicide Prevention was very a perfect fit for our event, because when deciding the charity to donate, so behind the scenes, I had a lot of people say, okay, why this one, right? And so first off, they felt like a perfect fit because with mental health, that can also, not to turn this so dark, but I mean, think about it. What is the worst result if you have your mental health worsened, right? Like you can feel to end life right there. So I'm really thankful that they wanted to partner up with us. But also the second thing, which I don't think a lot of people know, is they worked with a lot of other gaming communities. Like they were part of TwitchCon, and yeah, so like it's really cool when we were emailing back and forth, and I told them about the gaming event. At first, I was a little bit nervous, and they're like, "No, we totally understand. We relate to this," and they gave me this whole like professional deck about like safe language, media guidelines, and then also the thing that made me so excited to work with them, straight up a whole PDF about like gaming companies in support, and then how we support gaming companies and gaming communies. And I was just like, wow, it was a perfect fit. There's also a small, sorry, I'm going to shout out one more thing.
No. This is actually, I didn't realize any of this beforehand. Yeah. They gave you fucking documents.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So another reason why I also did mental health is because one of my best friends, actually, she does some, what is it? She did some content for this, I think I would say more of a charity. They're called Take This, kind of the Zelda reference.
Okay. No, and I got it. That tracks. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Yes. And one thing that I thought was really cool, and I actually was thinking about working with them too, but I think, again, maybe in the future. But for example, besides the foundation we're helping, other smaller charities or foundations like that, where they actually provide a safe space in gaming conventions. So if you ever feel like, maybe fairly depressed, or you're just dealing with some bullying or anything like that, you can go there. They take care of you. And so I think, again, mental health is making its way towards gaming communities, or at least charities and foundations are making their way into communities that people would often overlook, which is like us.
Yeah, honestly, that's actually awesome. They gave you safe language. You didn't share that safe language doc with me. We've already started the show.
Oops.
I've already hit record. I'm walking through the landmine field right now. I'm walking through a minefield. Dang. Didn't even realize that. Throwing my whole ass out there. All right. So what are the dates though? Because we haven't actually said when and where people can go, really.
So it is.
We've talked about everything about it that's not actually the practical stuff that people might need to go to see it.
You are so right. I think we just got so caught up in the conversation.
No, I'm a terrible host. This one's on me. Go ahead.
It's March 23rd. It is, so that's Saturday, and it is at Esports Arena Oakland, which, by the way, have been, I gotta just say this, they are the reason why my vision was able to become reality, because if it weren't for their support because I actually brought up the idea about Combat for a Cause, and a lot of the people behind the scenes there are just we're so for it, but if it really wasn't for them to hey, here's a venue, we're going to give this to you so you can actually make this a reality, it definitely wouldn't happen. So thank you to them. And so, Saturday, March 23rd, Esports Arena Oakland, or if you can't physically be there, you can go to twitch.tv/The Pandora House for, depending on the game you want to play, because we actually have 3 streams. There's going to be the AAA stream, which is Pandora House, so The Pandora House. There's going to be Smash Ultimate Teams and Singles, which is our PSville. And then there's also going to be anime, so BB Tag and Eunice for JP Braganza.
All right, right on. Simulcast, all at the same time?
Depends on the game. So I do have a stream schedule posted on my Twitter. Okay. So I can definitely link you that, and you can put it in whatever, in your words, podcast notes below.
There's show notes. They may be below. They may be, wherever they appear. I don't know. I have an Android phone. I don't know where they show up on an iPhone. It could be to the side, even. But that's not for me to find out. All right, cool. Anything else about the event that you want to pitch before we spin off?
I mean, honestly, all I can say is if you're gonna be in NorCal regionals early, or I guess Northern California, if you're gonna be there early, or if you just want practice, please come through. It's a great cause, and I also want people to see that, you know, the fighting game community does support our local communities as well, because this is bigger than us. This is actually even international if you want to think about it. People see this, so.
Yeah, no, that's the weird thing about the FGC that I find extremely fascinating, is that it is worldwide. Like, I know right now, listening, there are people who, hey, people who aren't in America, what's good? What's happening over there? Write me sometime. It's that, but they'll come and they'll show up to this stuff and not show up maybe physically, but show up and say, hey, like, here's a couple bucks, like, because your cause is good, and I believe in the good charitable works of the FGC, so what's good? It's weird. It is like weird to me that happens, but also like I find it incredible. Like, I don't know, that shit's cool. But I hear there might be a couple people that you want to specifically give thanks to, who've already stepped up and like kind of threw down in the donations page.
Yeah. So I mean, okay. I mean, I want to thank everybody who donated, even if it was just using that coupon code, right?
Clearly.
Yes. But I definitely do want to say, like, especially for the top contributors, like Justin Wong. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he donated $500, which was amazing. I can't forget also my lovely boyfriend here, LPN.
Oh, no biggie.
The man's made of money. What are you talking? He's liquid. He's
I wish.
Oh no,
man. It's okay. It's that esports money, right? No, I'm just kidding.
That's my weekly allowance.
He's got that esports money, baby.
That WNF money.
Yeah.
Let me see. So Sir who actually is part of Maturino, he actually is the one who's been helping us. And I'm in fourth place. There's somebody who I don't know. You guys might kind of know him. It goes under Reddit Fighting. So I have to shout out them for that.
Whoever that masked man is, or woman, we don't know. It could be
That's
anybody.
True. And speaking of women, Combo Queens as well for donating. All the people listed have donated about 100 or more. So
Hell yeah.
I just can't say thank you enough for everything. And I think there's probably someone else who did donate another 100. Also one of my friends from, I'm not gonna lie, like our Cap Cop friend, Michael Martin. That was really nice of him to also do that
cool.
too. And he'll be in the building too, which is kind of nice. So it's indirectly, in a way, it feels like Capcom is supporting, even though it's not directly they're doing it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not an official stamp, but it's like...
Right.
It's still, it's like, it's a head nod, not a stamp, which is sometimes good enough. No, that's awesome. I feel like stuff like that can encourage other people to donate to a good cause. I do want to kind of give a special shout. Can I give a special shout out to Sermi? That dude, when we say that Maturino is always working, he is at least one of the typical contacts that at least I go through. And that man is, I mean, he will go to bat for the FGC. That guy's fucking awesome.
So true.
And like super easy to work with. So shout out to my man Sermi, putting it down for mental health awareness. I'm for it, man.
Yeah, I really have to thank him too. You're right. He's been such a great help. I feel bad. Sometimes I'll message him at like 2 a.m. and he still responds. I'm like, oh, okay. So
I have no idea how that man lives his life. He's living that Red Bull life, apparently. No sleep. But anyway. All right, so I think that basically, but you've got also like other vendors who are helping out with the event as well. I mean, it's a whole like the FGC as a whole is coming together, and part of that it makes me feel good. All right, so anything else before we spin off the conversation here?
No, I'm good.
All right. And I do want to just personally thank you for running an event like this, especially giving shout outs to the like suicide hotline and giving to them as well, making that readily available. because something that I don't often say or talk about this into a microphone very often, but I will say that in my family, all men of this generation have passed away by committing suicide. So this is something that to me is like, this one hits home. I've seen what happens afterwards and the effects of it, and the people who love them, the effects on all of those people. And for anyone out there who might be thinking, I'm not loved, this is not for me anymore, or like, know that that's just not true, man. Like it's just not true. So give that line a call and there's no weakness in it. Like, you might think, I'm the lowest I can't call it because this is like, maybe you're too big to call it and you just want to end it. I say, no, man, fuck that. Give them a call. They're all right. They do a good job. But also know that there has to be, and there is, someone in your life that loves you, and you can get through it. Whatever it is you're working on. The world is ultimately good. Look for people who help, and these are some of the people that do. So check them out. So I will need to transition out of that dark moment. That one's on me. Not going to throw it up to you.
Wait. Can I just say one thing?
You may.
It's a positive thing.
You may.
Thanks for reminding me. I do want to say we do have a resource at the event itself. So we will have an American Foundation Suicide Prevention booth there. And so they will have resources. And then the team that's actually going to be behind that booth, specifically, they sent us people who are gamers so we can actually be able to have some kind of relating topic, right? So it's a comfortable conversation. So if you are in NorCal or at the event, please take advantage of that booth and listen, or even just having a conversation with them about what you're feeling is definitely is open. It's there for you.
No, that's awesome. And anyone out there who thinks that they might suffer from any mental health issue, go see a doctor. There's no shame in, if you, like I'd say, that's like the hard part is saying if it is covered by some kind of insurance, or if it is something that is available to you, if there's a free clinic that you can get to, highly recommend doing that. It could really turn things around for you. Anyway, something that we mentioned earlier. So let's turn this around to a positive note, because Exo Academy, they've got some good stuff going on. I have felt uplifted by their work and the stuff that they do. I'm wearing the shirt currently because I support them. Round 2 is starting. Round 1 just ended, which was Romanova and Pichon. If you don't know what the Exo Academy is, hop back a couple episodes where Persia was on talking about that directly. And they just released the last blog for what they did at Final Round, what they learned, lessons learned, and they're going to move on to the next round, which is SpaceCake and SVL. What's your guys' take on Exo Academy as players or as community members?
I think the Exo Academy is a really awesome initiative for Persia to really just go out there and just have a helping hand for any players who are looking to get better, improve in every aspect. It's been a really long time since a figurehead was able to do that, and I would say mad props to her. I met the Romanova and Pichon at Final Round over the past weekend, and they were playing pretty well, especially on stream too. It's awesome. I mean, it's a huge confidence booster. It's making them enjoy the games and company a lot better. And definitely we need more of this, and I'm looking forward to even more rounds.
Yeah,
you said everything I was thinking. I mean, he said everything I was thinking about.
Lying.
No, I mean, well, I'm very fortunate because I think, how do I say this? So he said it I think in the player perspective, I think it's so on point about having...
As a human.
As a human. You are so right. As a human. Are you sure you're a human? We'll talk about that some other time. No. But also, like, if I were to throw out that female perspective, I think, like you said, it's so encouraging. And I'm so proud of Persia. I'm so proud of her because she reached out to me too, kind of like saying, like, I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail because I do know
Right.
some stuff coming up, but I do appreciate that she really is doing a community outreach on this. And it's not only for the players, it's also for the resources. I saw your podcasts, and so you were able to go into detail about, or rather, she was able to go into detail about how she selected certain people to help with certain traits and skills. And and I love that it's not only about just playing the game, it's also building them, whether it's like the physical therapy, the social media presence. It's,
Yeah.
you know, it's more aspects to a person than just them playing the game.
Yeah, because I saw Romanova saying that she felt like really confident in commentary, and I think that that came through, and I think that she has plans to focus on that in the future. And it's like, that's, I don't know, shit like that is just cool. And it's also cool that they share all that stuff with everybody. Like the vlogs are all there to listen to and watch, and kind of watch them grow. And like, it is cool to observe growth and have it be a very this is a one-to-one thing. Like, they put in this effort, the community supported it, and like, we have the outcome now. Like, the proof is in the pudding. But anyway, it's cool. I'm excited for round 2. SpaceCake and SVL. I don't know SVL. Do you guys know this player?
It's the first time I ever heard of this player. I'm not sure if it's a male or female.
They only
Has to be
support
female.
women at the EXO
Only
Academy.
female.
I'm sorry. Of course, it's female only. That was foolish of me. But SVL's.
What a rube.
I'm not sure what region she's from, but those 3 letters do kind of ring a bell. I just can't really match a face to it.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I'm so sorry if for any reason she hears this.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, this is a
She's
Street
probably
Fighter
gonna kick my
podcast.
ass. So that's fine.
There's no Tekken
Well, yeah.
podcast, so this is where I've got a hole in my game. I don't play enough Tekken as it is. Wish I had more time to play Tekken. Tekken's a good game. Tekken's
It is a
fucking
good
awesome.
game.
I know
It's
that
a
this
great
isn't-
game.
I know this isn't a Tekken podcast, but yo, there were some fucking Tekken announcements.
No.
I didn't write this shit down either, but if you are worried, or not worried, if you are interested in what a company can do for like actual community grassroots outreach, fuck. That shit's awesome.
Well, I just also realized, I think when I saw the graphic for SBL, she's going to have Jackie as her coach. So she's in really good hands. And
Oh,
if
shit.
people don't know her now, they're going to know her later, definitely, especially after this.
Word.
Jackie Tran.
Yeah, dude. Man, he's so fucking good. Anyway, again, that is Tekken. This is a Street Fighter podcast. No, speaking of Street Fighter, okay, I have what is your guys' opinion? And you can have any opinion that you like on the Street Fighter League. Because the USA one, not the Japanese one, which is like it's coming to, I actually fucking haven't looked. Is it over, or are they 1 week away? I gotta fucking hit up Doc Fugu.
I don't know.
Regardless.
I never really got a chance to get an update on the Japanese side of the Street Fighter League.
That's
like-
because the only way to really hear about it was if you have to follow Doc Fugu, Fugu Tibetai on Twitter. He's like the only guy who writes about it. He translates all that stuff, shares like clips and highlights from it, and that's like really the only reason that I even know about it. But regardless. That's in Japan. We've got our own here in the States, specifically USA. Fuck off, Canada.
Damn.
We hung our hat at the door. Go away, Trudeau. No, we've decided I don't know if you guys saw this, but they released a video today. The video was released today to tell everyone like about like how to compete in this and how to like obtain a spot in the SFL USA, which to me sounds like we could have used this 2 months ago.
Yeah.
When there was like a lot of confusion about what this was. But that was released today. But also all of the people have been selected either through online tournaments or through voting. Up to Snuff, which you guys know Up to Snuff?
I think he's from SoCal. He's the Nakali player.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Used to be from out east, and that man, Very tall, that guy.
Oh, it's super duper tall.
Rob TV, JB, Just a Kid, Samurai, and Psycho. They were all winners from the online tournaments. That's how they sealed their spots. But then community voting. Brian F. We got Shine, Dual Kevin, El Chacote, Classico, and Broly Legs, which is awesome. It's awesome to see a lot of like representation of people who like I know personally and would have a good conversation with. Show up on like these. There's a good list of people here who I feel like are. I don't want to use the words worthy of promotion, but I feel like these are. I mean, they're super worthy of it, but at the same time, like it benefits them to get this kind of promotion because of some of the stuff that they're doing within the community in general.
Yeah,
but I don't know. That's my opinion. What's your take on the SFL though, as from a player perspective, LPN?
No, it's pretty cool. It's a really good variety of players for what they're trying to accomplish for this league. I wish I kind of knew more of the details, but I guess we have to wait a little bit more. I know that they just made the video, but I'm still a little confused of how the banding works and everything. But as far as it goes for team tournament for that, I think that's going to be the most interesting aspect of it. Hopefully it'll be successful, so we got more of this in the future, right? Because right now having all these singles tournament for Street Fighter is kind of lackluster. I think team tournaments really add a spice to it, especially overseas. Japan's been doing team functions for so long now. It's awesome. You know, the whole entire city and town comes together, and I think over here in the States we should be, doing the same thing. Not necessarily following the exact footsteps, but I think we should integrate it into our tournament system or ecosystem. Yeah,
or even like the Gfinity series in the UK.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I've always wanted one of those over here, but I don't know.
And this appears like it could fill at least somewhat of a niche for that. Rose, what's your take as an organizer?
Oh no, don't ask me this.
No? All right, as a viewer then, give me the hot takes. What do you like?
Well, I'm joking partially, only because and maybe I am a little bit, how do I say this? Multi-dimensional in looking at this, because I, of course, long as a player, right? I think about the player's perspective. I think about the organizing. I think about the marketing, which I'm just... It was just too random.
Tell me about that marketing. Let's get into it, because this is something where I feel like it could have done better. For example,
yeah, very much so. I mean, okay. Well, one thing I will say, which I know Long definitely will probably have more to add on. Community favorites is always a very tricky type of way to get in, I think, because. I see a lot of people, especially on Twitter, they'll say, oh, it's just a popularity vote. And it just happens that, maybe this community has more people. And that's where I do feel kind of bad about it, right? Where, I mean, like the online warriors, you kind of, you can't really say too much about them getting in, because at the end of the day, they did prove themselves. They did play and get to that point, right?
Right.
So,
even if the final online qualifier was also during the first CPT event of the year, where people might have gone to, that's a whole other issue. But regardless, go on.
No, that's actually where I was actually going, because the whole marketing. No, I love it. You're great. It's again, not only is the marketing just very lackluster, I think honestly it was just too little of notice, but also, come on, like the planning of it, if I were to be so transparent, like you got like 3 things I think going on the same weekend, and they're all CPT and they're all on the same website. So like, come on, you know that these things are happening. And so, I mean, if I were to also put on the positive side, or a positive way, it's that they're trying to provide multiple options for people who, for example, don't make it to final round, but the media or the exposure of it is going to be drowned out by final round. Well. So that again, I can go on for this, but I'm going to keep it short and say it could be organized better for that part. But I mean, it's still early. you don't know. There might be some other stuff that it'll quickly change our perspective.
I mean, I think it's early. I don't know when. I should get this right because they have release date, because this is just season 1 of this. And at the end of season 1, I believe there will be 3 teams left. Or no, there's 2 teams will carry over. And then it'll start again, season 2 in fucking I don't know when. Again, the dates are written down on the original post. I think that's the only place they've ever been shared. And then season 2 will start, and then like the finals of the SFL will conclude, I believe, at the North American regional finals, which hasn't been announced as to what that is. I'm pretty sure that's the Red Bull event at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, Red Bull usually in later parts of the year.
Because I mean, like they haven't said that yet. They haven't announced like dates or anything for that. But also, like Red Bull has their own thing going on where it'll be like fucking Conquest or whatever bullshit they're slinging at us this year. Which I'm sure it'll be whatever it is. I'm sure it'll be fucking rad. Like their design team they fucking knock it out of the park every year.
Yeah, they're really good. One of the biggest supporters for the FGC right now, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
we need that.
Yeah, they support us, and like they're another one of those companies. I mean, speaking about Matcherino earlier, that they have taken specific interest in what works with our community in general, and roll with that. They take our advice instead of trying to make us fit whatever preconceived notions of what an esport is in their own head. And they've really taken this to some really awesome levels, in my opinion. And really, I'm looking forward to whatever their tournament series will be it Conquest or what was it the year before? I'm trying to even Proving Ground, Red Bull Proving Ground.
Yes.
The year prior. And all of those events are cool. So whatever. I digress, but the SFL, I believe, will conclude there. So that's why I think it'll be a live event, although that information has not yet been released. So I saw a lot of people saying that, oh, this will just be a online only tournament. And I'm like, well, there's reason to believe that it won't be. So, but also I have no way to prove that because the language isn't out there yet. But no, I agree. It is definitely something that could have gotten a little bit better coverage, or at least like, I don't know, cool video, or some cool advertisements, such as the Uniqlo. This was something that we didn't bring up last week, even though it had like just occurred. But if you guys are playing Street Fighter V right now and you have the AdSense turned on, you'll be seeing ads for Uniqlo. Is that how you say that?
I think so.
I call it Uniqlo.
Uniqlo?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I mean, however it's called, everyone knows what it is, which is great. So
yeah. How you guys feel about that?
it's pretty cool. Kind of came out of nowhere. They have some pretty good products. As far as what they're promoting now, I feel like the artwork looks better than what they're selling on the shirt.
Yes.
And I think that's a general consensus right now because artwork's amazing.
Yeah.
100% on that, dude. 100% backing you on that.
But I mean, I still like the designs for the shirts. They're pretty subtle. So I mean, I like the Gao one. The double KO is pretty cool, and there's a Kuma one too. Is really awesome. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, they could definitely bump up the design a little bit. Just give us what we want.
How about use that new art that you guys made to make a shirt design? Because that new art is sick. The ads are cool.
I love that.
Use some of that stuff. Rose, what's your take?
Again, I think we're very in sync on that. I like the artwork more than the shirts. Sorry.
No, listen. Hey, I'm in
cool.
full agreement with you. The same place over here.
I think though they probably will get a lot of feedback to the point that maybe something like this will happen. Maybe it will happen where they're gonna switch it up, be like, "Hey, we heard you, and we want you to buy our stuff. So here, we made it."
The negative on this, and the way that I look at it, is the thing that kind of gets me still is that Capcom is a company, and other companies that license Capcom, like the Capcom. I'm really fucking up my words. Regardless, companies that take licensing for Street Fighter content and shit. God, I cannot say words. Regardless, it is buck wild to me that they're still going back to the bank of Street Fighter 2. Does that feel weird to you guys at all?
Oh, well, I'll be honest. I actually was thinking the same thing too. But then I kind of saw that, okay, they threw in a little bit of Street Fighter 5. Because like half of the merchandise is like Street Fighter 2, right? And then the other half is Street Fighter 5. So I think they tried to balance it out, but I don't think it's that successful. I mean, what do you think, Long?
That's my name. It's a little weird. I mean, I get that they're trying to capture the newer crowd and the older crowd. But for like the Street Fighter 2 designs, like they're very nostalgic, but they're kind of weird, especially the Dawson one. Because he's literally like stretching his arms, I think, around the shirt.
Yeah, it goes bad back.
Yeah, it's kind of weird like that. And the Honda one is just like he's just blocking a fireball. And the other side, I think, is Ryu. So you kind of have to like literally rotate around the person who's wearing the shirt to see what's going on. And I mean, it's a fun shirt. Don't get me wrong. It's a fun shirt. But I think they need something more simple. Like the double KO and the versus screen is perfect. Because that's the instant connection. You know what it's all about. But as far as the Dawson and Honda one, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I feel like someone's going to use a pickup line. I'd love to see your shirt. Can you turn around?
I mean, probably.
I mean, honestly though, because you look at the back of the shirt and you go, "Hey, that looks fucked up, like it's missing something." Hey, you from behind, it looks like your shirt is. Did your shirt glitch? Is your shirt glitched? Is that a thing that happened in that game? Did you miss it? And they go, "Oh no, I'm sorry. The Ryu is on the other side," and you do a dramatic turn.
Exactly.
And then
So
that's
theatric.
that's the lamest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know. Can't explain it.
I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I just can't explain. Like, why did they do that? Like,
They tried. Okay, A for effort. Like they're trying something new.
it felt like they put a poster on the shirt, but the shirt wasn't big enough to have it all on one side. So they're just like, might put some holes in the shirt.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me about it is that it's all the Street Fighter 2 stuff is effectively, it's not all, I can't say that entirely. It is like 95% all just ripped art from the game.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, that's not. Listen, I've talked to a designer before. I've gone through the design process of making cool T-shirts. It doesn't involve, hey, you have like the file? Yeah, just throw that on the shirt. Yeah, people get it. They get it. Be a fan of, I don't fucking care. Yeah, just put guys. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. Ship it. That's never a conversation I've had with anybody. In fact, one time someone tried to do that and I said, fucking no, this is garbage. I didn't say that. I said, no, we need to do something different here because this isn't enough. And also we're not licensed, so that's a legal issue. I don't know. I would like to see. I guess what I really want is for them to leverage the good art that they have and like the good characterization, because the stuff, if you have the AdSense on and you see the characters like wearing they're like doing normal everyday stuff, and it's like, oh, you don't see the characters like that very often. It gives them another kind of contextual flavor as to who they are as characters. Even it's a buck wild direction, but they're giving characters character.
Yeah. No, your personality, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I want to see more of that. All right,
maybe there's just season 1 of their products, and they'll have a season 2.
Maybe. I mean,
That's how they get us.
A good thing that we could turn this into is that, and something that I believe was brought up whenever the AdSense was first announced, but wouldn't it be something if they put more like local or ranking events or any other kind of like tournament promotion through the AdSense, so that they get the advertising out there. It promotes the CPT, therefore vis-a-vis concordingly promoting Street Fighter V. It's, to me, that makes sense, and it also helps the community out. So maybe we'll see that in the future.
I would assume that's the next step that they're working towards, because it's kind of a missed opportunity to don't do that, right? I mean, you get information right in front of you. Like, right, why not do that? Instead of having someone that have to search for it, right? It's just available right in front of you. I mean, it's a lot better to do that than just to have, like, what you call it? I mean, eventually the Uniqlo ad is not going to be there forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, people are going to get tired of that fast. But having, like, bi-weekly ads or monthly ads for different events, I think it'll keep the players and customers a lot more interested and engaged. Because they see that, they're like, oh, this is happening this date. Where's this at? Blah, blah, blah. Look it up. Sign up. Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like that.
Yeah. Especially if they're local. Like, because a lot of people, I mean, there are also players that CPT is probably not capturing because they, like, for example, sorry, I'm going to throw a small story here.
No digression allowed on this podcast. How dare you? How dare you go off on a tangent? No, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
Back in 2000, oh God, I think it was maybe 10 or 11. Like, so me and some friends, we knew about the FGC and we played fighting games, but we didn't actually engaged with it. And I think when we were playing back then, like Street Fighter 4, and if they had this whole ad, well, back then they wouldn't, right? But if they had this whole AdSense, and we saw oh, this event is happening. Like, sometimes we had to find out about events through, well, actually, I don't remember how back then we found out about events, but people now who are new and just starting, maybe they don't use social media as often, right? Maybe they're not on Twitter or the Capcom website, but they've played the game, and if that AdSense is on, you can possibly, capture them to come to an event. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying that from personal experience. Like, if I had an easier way to find out, that would have been great back then.
Oh yeah,
and I would have met awesome people.
I would love to see the day that AdSense pops up and it's just Ace King Offsuit's Twitter account. That shit would be hype. But all right. Anyway, enough about the Uniqlo. The shirts are out there. You can go check them out. The artwork for the ads is cool. Moving on, though, because we've got other Street Fighter stuff to talk about before we move on, is that right now the hot thing to say is that Karen is a broken character. She's broken. She's too good. We're back, and all of this conversation reminds me we're back in CPT season. People, I know that people care about Street Fighter when I hear that whoever won the last tournament, their character is broken. But what Punk did at Final Round was pretty incredible. LPN as a player, watching what he did with Karen, what's your opinion on Punk? What's your opinion on Karen? Where are we at right now?
As far as the character goes, she's been strong every single season.
Yeah.
It really comes with the player development, especially with Punk. Very strong player, and he's utilizing the character very well. And just having reactions in the neutral and confirms helps the character so much. To the point where, people would think she's broken, but obviously the players are enabling her to get the hit confirms, all that stuff, right? I mean,
yeah.
As people would say, wash your feet. I mean, the character is just really strong all around. It's not a super cheap character or anything like that. It's just a really powerful character, I would say. Mm-hmm. Cheap characters would be I don't know, Rashid or Colleen, Ibuki, like that, right? It really creates true 50-50s.
You think Rashid's still cheap?
He's very cheap, man. He could run, he could ride the tornado, his mobility is too great, corner carry.
I think he's still strong. I mean, they did take away some of his cheaper stuff, but he's kind of one of those characters that went way under the radar for all of the seasons, and they've just been taking away his very broken ass stuff.
Yeah. But even though they remove all the broken stuff, it just reveals how great of a character he is without it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, Karen was really strong in season 1, but Chun-Li was cheaper, so she kind of got overshadowed. And as the higher tier characters kind of like got broken down, it kind of like revealed Karen's actually really good. And that's why I feel like where she stands, she's just super solid. That's it. Like, not cheap, it's super solid. Playing the highest level, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy at all to play at the highest level. That's why you only see a few Karen players succeed, right?
Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. I saw some people complaining about her crouching medium kick, and it's like, hey, you guys know the math is out there. Like, she doesn't even rank in terms of easiest hit confirmable crouching medium kick. Like, her cancel window for that is one of the shortest. It's not one of the longest.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So, like, looking at by the numbers, shit ain't easy.
Well, actually, let me. I might have to correct you on that one.
Oh, really?
She's actually ranked top 5 in the easiest hit confirms for medium kick, I believe.
Oh, really? Maybe I thought that.
They might have changed it actually from the previous seasons. Because I was actually talking about that today with my buddy Samurai, and we were going through the list, and at the very top is actually Colleen.
Yeah.
I believe she has a 19 or 20 frame window to cancel her crouching medium kick into V trigger, and that's a huge window. Like, you could literally just hit crouching medium kick, look at your watch. If you see it, you just pop the V trigger, and you can still confirm, which is crazy because it's super lazy. You know what I mean? But as far as it goes for Karen, like, even though the execution there is a little difficult, the crouching medium kick into the just frame tankle is what makes, you know, the difference. If there wasn't no just frame tankle, I think that move is a lot harder to land. But I'm not discrediting the character or anyone who plays it. You still have the eye for it, and you still have to practice that. It's not automatic. So don't get me wrong on that, just in case, you know. I'm not bashing on Karen, guys. She's really good.
We will be, hey, the best way to be corrected for something is to state it wrong, saying that you're correct. So in which case, I'll just blatantly say, I'll erroneously say, one of the hardest to hit confirm. And we'll get something in the comments, I'm sure. Anyway, regardless of what has happened, I know that there was a lot of people saying online, being like, hey, Street Fighter V is dead because there were no announcements. I feel like all of that took away from Punk as a player and the good-ass Street Fighter that happened this weekend. I don't know. I just feel like there was some really good plays this weekend that got somewhat overshadowed by people just being sour on the whole thing, but I'm not surprised.
I mean, speaking from personal experience being there, I was a little hopeful for anything. But then it's kind of like you go in the movie theaters, right? And the lights are still off, and you're like, okay, here comes a post-credit. And when the lights turn on, it's kind of like, I can't believe it.
It's over.
And then I kind of sat there for like 3 more minutes because I was like, maybe they turned on the lights too early. And next thing you know, they're like, all right, exit this way. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of disbelief, but at the same time, they never said they were going to announce anything. At Final Round, there was no hint.
Yeah.
So, you know, people have these, you know, delirious expectations that were never presented before. But they're going to come eventually. That's all I can say. I don't know when, but just remember it's going to come.
Yeah. It's like it's like you went into a Marvel movie and there was no post-credit scene.
Yes. We're spoiled in a way. Like, I think it's starting to become a norm in a way where people expect, oh yeah. I mean, if you look at the Twitter, right? Don't they usually post like a picture of something, right? When something's about to be revealed, but there was no hint or anything like that. So
they'll change the icon, they'll do the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, maybe they're just giving us a cold shoulder so when we least expect it, like, surprise, Honda.
Yeah.
A surprise Honda. Oh no.
Didn't they do they did 2 at Evo, right? They released G and Sagat. Like, maybe they're gonna do something like that. I mean, I don't know, but
I'm not trying to wait all the way to Evil.
I mean, like, they might do like a 2 thing where like, so you thought you're gonna get something at Final Round, but
this is what I want to happen in the next tournament. NCR comes, grand finals, I'm in it, I win it, it's all cool, we're all celebrating, and then they're like, all right, everybody leave, and then all of a sudden the fire alarm goes off, And then it's like, everybody freeze. And lights go out. They're like, what's going on? Boom, trailer. The whole entire cast for the new season.
Oh my god.
Like 6 characters, including all the costumes, blah, blah, blah. For $10.
You're so full.
$9.99 right now for the next 12 hours. And everybody rushes home. And then the real fire department comes because it's too cramped.
No, a fake fire department shows up and they say, "This deal is too hot," and they rip off their shirts.
Whoa,
It should be Alex. No, everyone cosplays as Alex.
As long
As
as
a
it's off
firefighter.
stream.
There we go.
And then they finally released the Alex trailer, and then we're all happy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. The end.
Then he actually comes out as a character.
Oh man, buffs.
Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something?
I would like that. I would like that.
I agree.
You're
I
so
think he's a
funny.
fun character. But no, I actually think there is some. If I were a betting man, I would almost bet that I don't know which event this will be at, but I imagine that when they announce it, it'll just be, here it is. Here's our whole ass. Here it is.
Yep. Like, don't ever ask me for anything ever again.
Yeah, and then they're
my
just
God.
like, and then
Don't ask me
they,
for shit.
yeah, and then they just
Wrong
close
game,
that
oops.
Twitter account. They shut it. They delete it entirely.
Damn.
Oh my
What- oh my God.
You're killing us here. We're supposed to be your guests. We gotta survive till the end.
All right. Well, regardless, I don't know. I'm excited. But you mentioned that like something is coming. That just reminded me of was that this morning? Was that this morning or yesterday when the Street Rider on Twitter, or not on Twitter, he was at WSO, was like, there will be something coming, and I'm effectively all he said was, there will be more information. I will be very excited to share about it when there's more information to share. And then like within the hour, Event Hubs was like, here's 364 words on there will be more information.
Oh god.
People are thirsty for it. They're so thirsty for it.
Yeah.
Out there.
I mean, it's been kind of dry out here, but I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm happy with what I got. You know, anything more is just a bonus. I don't need an announcement. I mean, they could just send me a private message saying what's coming
my
up.
God.
That'd be cool. I won't tell no one.
DMs are open, so
LPN 510, let me know.
I love that.
all right. Well, anything else? We have to move on because we're coming to the end of the show. A couple quick things, and we don't have to talk about these in too much detail, but and I only want to bring this up because they were so fucking adamant about it. But Google released they will be releasing a video game system called the Stadia. Insert your stevia, and that's a bad name joke here. But what they wanted to do was, hey, we've got this new system. We want to use it for fighting games. And it just reminded me like the opposite of Matcherino or the opposite of a Red Bull, where a company comes in and says, we know exactly what you need, fighting game community. Trust us. Yo, that controller runs on Wi-Fi. On Wi-Fi, because they explicitly said that Bluetooth was too slow. They said that shit into a microphone
Yikes.
as if it was true. Damn.
Yikes.
I do want to call out, by the way, one thing specifically on that note, that Weed on Twitter, WYDD, he actually ran tests on this a while back, and this is something that still like fucking blows my mind, but the DS4, the DualShock 4 for PlayStation controllers actually has lower latency when you use Bluetooth than when you use it wireless. Or when you have it wired.
Wired?
Yeah. Like by a pretty significant margin. Which
Really?
that doesn't sound. The thing is, that doesn't sound. When I said that out loud, that doesn't sound true. But the testing is out there, and you can run this test yourself because he has like the information for it. But regardless, not important. Google themselves said that no, this needs to be Wi-Fi. You, as the fighting game community, need this. All tests on games that are not even like player versus player online. All games are online. because they're running them all on a server. That's how the controller fucking works. The latency tests on button inputs for just single player games worked out to about 6.5 frames of lag, just in general. On games that like are not fighting games, where that shit is hyper important. I don't know. There's something about that just outright on its face, you can see that and go, oh, clearly this will not work for fighting games.
Yeah. Probably work for like Fortnite, obviously, because don't really matter.
Yeah, things where there's like predictive, like things that they can work into the game, and like, because I don't know a whole lot about coding, but I know that if you were like moving forward in a game, the online server will predict that you are going to continue moving forward, so it like does some other shit and just continues to move you forward, which is why when you hit like a lag spike, you get that image of that guy like doing a walk forward and then he goes back to where he originally was. Anyway, I don't know why I digressed into that weird fact. Weird first-person shooter facts here on our Street Fighters podcast. Anyway, I just don't think this shit will work for fighting games. Just like, it's just so obvious to anyone who knows anything about fighting games. But we don't have to talk about that unless you guys have an explicit opinion on it.
I mean, fighting games is such a smaller market for video games in general, so it's understandable if they do try to work with fighting games and it fails and flops, which we know is going to happen. It's just going to be like, we tried. Or we're going to be like, well, we're new, so hopefully no one spent all that money on it.
Yeah, hopefully they launch it on a Tuesday. But anyway, that's that.
I hope they don't.
Hey,
for them, for their sake.
That'll be the kicker, is if they're like, we have this great plan. Hello, Tuesday. We heard this was the best day to launch. And just they clearly
don't know their market then. I mean, I don't know.
It's an interesting thing. That's all I'll say about that. It is a weird thing to think of, like the ownership of games is like almost gonna 100% not be what it is today. Of I have this game and I can play it, whereas the thing that I like to play was deleted off of a server, and I don't know. I mean, I guess kids are into that these days. They game a lot on their phones. Hey, I don't
trust the cloud.
Yeah, I have no frame of reference here. No frame of reference. Fuck the cloud.
Do you think, I mean, I'm just curious because for other people's opinions about the whole Wi-Fi thing, because, all right, when we were running an event at Esports Arena, right, and that night it just happened that the Wi-Fi, something happened and we had no Wi-Fi whatsoever. Imagine if this was like a tournament standard thing, right? That's already just, you're fucked.
I know. It is. I know. Right? What they said in whatever announcement they made, they were like, we're going to have our own servers on site for fighting games specifically. So they'll just connect to those servers. I'm like, but then why the fuck would it all be wireless then if you're going to bring your own fucking equipment? What are you doing? It's bananas. What you said, though, specifically reminds me of events are not guaranteed to have internet, and it could go out for any reason. The internet is a fickle bitch. It will. It doesn't care.
I mean, there's already games who are having trouble. Like I mentioned about that game. The day we were trying to run, I think it was a Stadia tournament, and just the internet already, like you said, it's so I don't want to say unstable, but unpredictable. And so you never know how that's going to work. And I think that's probably why I might be a little bit hesitant to try this, but I will definitely be watching, just not with my own money. Like, I'm not investing in it until I see something really worth it.
Yeah, clearly. No, it's weird. That kind of reminds me of when Evo rolled around, and there was a lot of people on our Street Fighter who were like, why don't they update the Smash GG bracket as soon as they it happens in the tournament? Why aren't the TOs just reporting scores as they happen? And it's like, yo, you've never been to an environment like that where it would be like impossible to if you fully relied. Imagine if a huge tournament like Evo fully relied on the internet being up to maintain a bracket. That's a fucking nightmare. But anyway, that's enough about that. One thing that I will talk about just very quickly, and again, you shouldn't I'm not going to ask you guys to comment on this because I'm not eloquent enough to even talk about this in the full breadth of what all happened here. But the CPT online events, they released all of the times, dates, and the regions that are included in each. If you don't know, they've actually expanded the number of online events, or I should say the regions that are affected by the online events. However, not included on announcement was Turkey, which happens to land it's in between a bunch of different regions, right? Geographically on a map, and also graphically on a network map, if you look at internet shit. And what happened was the Turkish players said, hey, why have you not included us? We have a lot of strong players out here. We would like to compete. It doesn't make sense for us that we were not included. And then that thread went immediately off the rails into geopolitical shit that I, as a moderator of our Street Fighter, am in no way equipped to handle. I won't even say like the things that had come up that needed to be moderated in that thread alone because of the implications. Because again, I'm not like learned enough to even speak intelligently enough on it to say it into a microphone, lest I radicalize some group of people or speak hatefully against a group that I don't know shit about. But I digress. Then what happened? They brought that to Capcom. They brought that to Level Up Series, which is they run all of the online events, and they said, okay, no, we're going to throw it into EU East online ranking. And apparently the Russian FGC, which, by the way, like all of Russia happens to be in the EU East for some reason. Like that, Russia is a very large country that goes all the way like to the other side of China, in fact. But they were like, hey, this doesn't work with this region, and the Turkish players, they deserve to play. We agree. But also, this doesn't work for us. So that's where we're at currently. Hopefully, all of this can be figured out before those dates come up, which are far enough into the future that I think that they can come to some kind of agreement. I don't know. But that is that. Online tournaments, man. There's something else. But that is all of the news for this week. Before we spin off into final questions, do you guys have anything else that you want to pitch? Anything you have going on that you might want to talk about now before we spin off into the end of the podcast?
At least for my end, again, just Combat for a Cause. If you're around the area, NorCal, Saturday, March 23rd at Esports Arena, Oakland. Be there.
And of course, don't forget that our buddy Crackfiend will be there.
Oh, right.
He's going to be cooking his favorite barbecue brisket.
Slinging meat.
He's slinging meat over there just to make sure people come by.
Yeah. we can never say it so straight when we.
But besides that, obviously, don't forget to vote for your boy for the OC Goodwill tournament. You know, elimination. Yeah. Next elimination round is tomorrow at 12 p.m. We're falling behind a little bit, so I could use as many votes as possible for tonight. And on top of that, they're actually doing a little special too. They're doing double value points. Oh. So for every vote, they're going to match. So let's double up, guys. Okay. Don't forget to vote for LPN.
Yeah, that's like a whole other charity event that we didn't even talk about. Yeah, shit, that's also news. That's
I thought you were going to talk about that, to be honest, but I thought maybe you just wanted to keep it focused on combat, probably.
I kind of did. I thought about it. I mean, I know that LPN is involved in that, but I didn't want to cross-pollinate. Yeah, because it's like, I don't want to cross-contaminate charities. Like, we've already got 2 charities up right now, but regardless...
You know what? We need to support I honestly am going to say this.
Yes.
I think, because this is something that someone brought up to me, which I thought was funny. They're like, oh, did you see that OC Goodwill thing? And you know what? I kind of was like, I think that's great. It's not a competition when it comes to helping others. So if, like, that's why Long is promoting the OC Goodwill event. I'm actually, like, because with Level Up Live, I feel like Valle is somewhat of a mentor for me sometimes for learning how to run these events. And so I told him I'm here to help, and I'll be helping with social media posts. So we're all helping each other, and I hope to encourage other people to think that way and act the same way.
Yeah, and I'm for it. Being giving and charitable is not a competition. We love fighting games and we love the competition. Being charitable, not a competition. It is just, I don't know, it's something that, I don't know, it's just more opportunities to help others. And that opportunity is, I don't know, that's great. And I'm glad that we have more of those. Just so happens that they're falling within the same kind of time frame. That's no matter. That's just, wait till next week when you got the next paycheck drops or whenever. Be it 2 weeks, however long that is. But I agree with you. I'm for it. Anyway, last question. I cannot let you go before asking the final questions I ask all guests as they show up on the show. Rose, I will start with you.
No.
Would you like to defer? You can. I'm giving you this opportunity.
No.
Okay. Go, Master, go.
All right. No, we're going to start with Rose on this one. Final question. It comes in 2 parts. First part of the question is, what is your favorite normal attack in any fighting game?
Okay. So for me, it's probably really lame, but I'm going to say, because I really was into Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4, and I played Jury, and I abused the crap out of standing medium kick and standing heavy kick. So it's between those 2. Probably heavy kicks. More people don't expect you to actually hit that, get hit by that.
Far stand heavy kick?
Yeah. I love it. And it's still my favorite combo. I don't know, to be honest. I'm debating between, like... Okay, wait.
You're moving on to the next question. I haven't even prompted that yet.
Oh,
you're getting.
I'm thinking too far ahead.
You're getting presumptuous, but no, that's cool. I mean, Jury's crouch. I mean, Jury's medium kick and hard kick are good buttons. That's not lame at all. There's nothing lame about that. And she wasn't even that like highly used of as a character. So
yeah. I love that. I do.
When you said I'm going to be lame, I thought you were going to say, like, were you crouching medium kick? And I was going to go to bat. I'm not that
lame. I'm just kidding.
I was going to go to bat for your vanilla-ass answer, but then you said something that was super not that. You don't need to defend yourself. Come on, Rose. All right, LPN, the same question is extended to you. What is your favorite normal attack?
My favorite normal attack... It's probably going to be Rolento's standing roundhouse.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite buttons because, it looks funny.
Yeah.
It makes a funny noise when he hits you.
It's big.
He goes, ha! Yeah, it gets boot and it's confirmable for combos. And
true.
There's a video online about it featuring myself if you guys want to check it out.
Oh my God.
It's called 801 Strider versus LPN at SoCal Regionals. Feel free to check that out.
That's so good.
That's the raw tutorial right there. Get it?
Yeah. Make sure you fast forward to, I think the timestamp is 7 minutes 33 seconds.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Yeah, you should be good.
New. Wow.
You should be good.
He's watched it a lot.
Wow.
And CBT loves, for some reason, don't they love to play that match?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
They need to I've seen people having conversations about this earlier today, but they need to update those videos.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough hype stuff from Street Fighter V that they could just make those with the game that they're currently trying to pitch. They could do that. But I digress. We have to finish this. We've got one more question. Rose, back to you. The question is that you were going to answer is, what is your favorite combo in any fighting game?
I'm going to keep it consistent and just go back to any... I'm trying to remember the exact name. That sounds so bad to say, but I just loved doing anything with like Jury's Fireball. I think Fuhajin. It's like
Fuha.
Yeah, like
Fuhajin.
I just loved mixing up people with low, medium, high. Just anything like that. That's my favorite combo. There, easy.
Yeah, that's fine. Also, it's fine to not know the names of things. Like. That's total. Sometimes, especially Jury, I feel like her moves are like kind of fucked up in the way that they're not fucked up, but just like all really long, where you can just say, "Oh, that's pinwheel."
Yeah, Fireball. That's why I just go like it's Fireball combo.
That's low Fireball. That's medium. That's mid Fireball. That's high Fireball.
Yeah.
No, for it, because then you get like cool loops with that shit.
Yes.
Especially in the corner where you can loop back into it and get like FADC cancels and
Cambo.
You know, it's really funny because I'm only going to bring this up because I'm not trying to put him on blast, but this just reminded me because we were talking about favorite combo, right? And so I did like a whole string on, or like a whole combo on oh my god, we were just talking about him, Samurai. And and we were playing at Esports Arena. He's like, what the heck? And I'm like, man, I felt so good. That's how you know a combo is good, when it makes you feel like you get that person to say, what the heck? And you're just like, that's right. You didn't know what was coming.
All right. Well, no, I'm for it. LPN, the same question goes to you. Favorite combo in any fighting game?
I think one of my favorite combos is probably a Hugo combo.
Oh my god.
Either from Third Strike or Ultra Street Fighter 4, just seeing those claps over and over and over. You don't know when it ends, and when you least expect it, he just resets and throws you against the wall, and he does it again. I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah, that was always the not worst, because in my opinion best, is that you could not sleep in between any of those claps. You had to be on it. No, man. Yeah, Hugo combos were sick.
Yeah, I think it was Fierce Clap, Medium Clap, Link to EX Clap, I think Medium Clap again, and then I think you can end it with a cross jab, light clothesline, or just command grab reset. And I was like, whoa, my life's gone.
Yeah, because you could end it with the lariat. That was like the last change that they made in the last patch. But anyway, folks, thank you for joining us. And LPN and Rose, thanks for taking the time and joining me to talk about what you've got going on with Combat for a Cause and other shit. That was a good show.
No, it was a pleasure, man. Thanks for having this.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right. Well, before we leave, where can people find you on the internet?
For me, my Twitter is Embers and Roses, and the same thing for Twitch.
Cool.
And for me, you can find me on Twitter at LPN510. And of course, you can catch me on twitch.tv/LPN Gaming. I'm actually going to start streaming in about 30 minutes. So, yeah, if you guys are around, check it out. Maybe we catch up.
You realize this podcast doesn't release live?
I know.
That's not how time works.
I know.
You know what? Actually,
just in case.
no. LPN, what you guys don't know about LPN, he's actually a time warrior. And whenever you, the listener, are listening to this podcast, whatever time you are listening to that, add 30 minutes to that and he'll be streaming.
I'll be there.
Yeah, it'll freak you out. The thing is, I say that into this microphone, I know someone will do that. And it will be streamed, and you will be streaming, and you'll just have started streaming, and it to them. So that's the thing. We're creating a miracle for like 5 people maybe in the universe, and to me, I'm kind of okay with that. So we've just made someone's day and make believe magic. Now I have to go back and edit that part out of the podcast so that they don't.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, folks, you can find me at SuperJoeMonday on Twitter.com or at RedditSF, which is the official Twitter account of our Street Fighter, or hop on our Street Fighter and find me user Joe_Monday. And that's a show, folks. Catch us every Thursday for this podcast, even though it's going up pretty late. It's already Friday where I live. But anyway, catch the tournaments on Mondays and Fridays. Mondays on the East Coast, Fridays on the West Coast. But until next time, folks, take care. Peace.
Peace out.
Okay, you're clear.
Nice.
Oh, thank God.